Good morning, guys. JunkGuysdfw.net. I am doing another training tips here on a train, of course. Okay, I'm gonna move this camera over just a bit. I am on a train heading from Fort Worth to Dallas, actually going to work on a busy schedule today. But today, I have an eviction today that I'm doing. I am not allowed to film this eviction due to Dallas County laws or this attorney's being a jerk about not letting me film. But I want to get into how to deal with constables during an eviction. So let's talk about the eviction process really fast, because during the years I've been able to get a hold and know the knowledge and kind of the rules that happen. So if you're not paying rent at a home or an apartment, usually the owner or the landlord will present you with a 3-day notice, and he will say, in 3 days I'm going to be filing a petition against you. Well, he tells you, hey, you need to vacate the property, or if not, I'm going to sue you. So that's the first process. The second process is he must go to either the county or he's got to go to the precinct where you're located at. If he goes to the wrong precinct and he files a petition against you to get out, your case is up for dismissal, actually. But so he's got to be sure that the house is right at the correct precinct in order to get the dismissal. I mean, in order to get you out and vacate his property. The third thing is they get a hold of the county sheriff, and he's usually a constable, sheriff constable, and they go to your house and they ask you a couple of times. They say, hey, you need to vacate this property. Now, these are Texas laws that you got to vacate this property, you got to get out of here. They'll try it 2 or 3 times. If that doesn't work, then here's what happens. The constable comes back, tells the judge they didn't want to leave. He gets a hold of the landlord, they get connect, and then there is a process, and that's where the process starts. That's where the process starts actually happening, and this costs the owner a lot of money, okay? Because now he's got to file a petition with the judge, and the judge has to sign it, and from there on, there is about a 60-day process. There has to be 2 letters written to the owner, to the homeowner, the people, the renters that are in the apartment or the home, and this letter is, hey, you're going to get kicked out in 60 days, and then 30 days later, you're going to get kicked out in 30 days. If everything is right and everything goes down, a constable comes up to the house and asks you to leave, and that's where the junk removal companies come in. All right, guys, so let's get into that part. So that's the part that I want to talk to you about, okay? Usually, if the homeowners, really fast, and I'm going to say this really fast, usually if the homeowners file a appeal, if the renters file an appeal on the landlord and say, hey, we need more time, they are 100% almost guaranteed to get that appeal from the judge. And what happens in that case is the judge will give them an additional 90 days. It's ridiculous, another 3 months to stay there. And then here's what's crazy about, they can file up to 2 to 3 appeals depending on the county, which is really, and depending on the city, which is really messed up, because they can stay into the house for about another 90 days to another 90 days, so almost a complete year. 9 months they can stay in the house, and the judge grants them a third one. Just imagine, they already gave them, 60 days. Now they're giving them 3 months and another 3 months and another 3 months, and then you're at a year that they stayed at your house without paying rent for free, okay? So anyway, guys, then that's where we come in. We come in at the last moment, right when the judge has signed it and right when the constable comes in. So this video is actually dealing with the constables and knowing how to talk to them so your job can be a lot easier, because that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to make the video and let y'all understand that dealing with the constables at an eviction is it's a piece of cake to me. It's like one of the most easiest things I've ever done. Usually when the constable knows that we have arrived, he knows that we have a limited time to get stuff out, and he wants to be friends with you. His thing is, the faster you get the stuff out, the faster he can get the hell out of there and go home. Because I'm going to tell you something, these constables get paid really good money for these evictions. I mean, they're out there for like almost $400. And by the way, the landlord, the homeowner, the person who's kicking out the renter, has to pay for that sheriff and that constable be out there. So he's actually paying him about $300 to $400 to be there on the property. Anyway, when he gets there, he's already made his money and he's waiting for us to leave. So here's what I do. And there's a procedure that I always do. I go introduce myself, but I'm really cool about it, and I'm always a great people person, so it's easy for me. I go, hey Sheriff, how you doing? My name's Ricardo, I'm with the Junk Guys. We're gonna knock this out really fast. I'll try to make it really smooth for you and get everything out of here. I'll get all the big stuff out of here so you can go home. And usually they're like, hey man, that's great. I've only ran into one problem one time where in South Lake, the eviction, the constable was like, well, I gotta be here all day no matter what you remove out. And I say, hey, no problem, no problem. And as I'm taking the big stuff out, he starts noticing I start taking little stuff out like coffee, you know, plates and stuff like that. And he's like, you know what, my job's done here. And I was thinking in my head, dude, I offered you that like 3 hours ago when we first got here. Usually the constables want to leave the property. So what I try to do is get all the big stuff out. Now, our job and the law job, and this is what the constable has, and the constable is my boss. When I arrive to that property, I want to tell you that the constable is my boss. He is the one that tells me what I can do and what I can do. But honestly, 100% of the time, it's only the big stuff and the stuff that's valuable. For instance, if there's a big coffee table and the coffee table is on the ground and the coffee table is in good condition, I have to get that out in the street. Now, if the coffee table has a big old hole in it and it's falling apart and you could tell that there's been dogs chewing on the coffee table, then it is trash. I do not have to move it out. If the mattress has urine stains and it's really bad condition and you could tell it's just trash and it's had a coffee and dropped on it, it has like cigarette burns on it, it is trash. I don't have to move it out. But if the mattress is in good condition, I gotta put it out in the street. And from there on, let me tell you something, here's where you can make money off of it. And I'm not gonna get into it really fast, but you put it out in the street and then the renters have 24 hours to pick up all their valuables. They can go inside the house, depending on the constable, because like they said, he's the boss. When the constable shows up, he's in charge, and that's that. That's how that works, okay? He tells you what you can get and when you can. So I will recommend that, and this is the training tip because I'm on a train. My tip to you is make friends with the constable, make it easy for him. Make this whole process about him. I always make it about him, and I'm gonna tell you why. Because the less stuff I get out of the house and put on the curb, the faster I get out of there and I get paid. Not today, not only for today, but for tomorrow too, because 24 hours comes by. So if I get there at 11 o'clock and I finish by 3 o'clock, I come back at 11 o'clock the next day and make more money off of it. So I made a fee. I made a fee for taking it to the curb. Then I waited 24 hours and I came back the next day, 24 hours later, and I got the stuff. And now I'm charging a fee to haul it off. So I charge a fee for carrying it out, and then I charge a fee for hauling it off. So there's a big difference. So I moved it out in the street. That was one fee. The second fee was to haul it off. And I just want to make that straight. If you get it cool with the constable and you make friends with the constable, they are only worried about following the rules. They got to follow the rules. Get all the valuable stuff out of there. Don't damage anything. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've done this in South Lake, I've done it in Irving, I've done it in Fort Worth many times, and I've done it in Dallas. And I'm a veteran at doing it in Dallas. Hell, I already know all the constables' names, put it that way. And the guys in Dallas, these guys show up, they walk into the house with us, they look around, they go in their car, they sit down, and they're done. That's it. I don't ever talk to them again. I like, hey, where's Ricardo? And they're like, hey, you know, Deputy, you know, whoever it is. And I'm not going to say any names, but let's say Smith. I say, Deputy Smith, how you doing? He's like, hey, pretty good. I got another one. He goes, okay, do what you think. Do your thing. And I'm saying, all right. So I pull all the stuff out. We already know. Pull all the big stuff out. And I said, I always tell him this, hey, Deputy Smith, go sit down and relax. I'll put the stuff out in the curb as fast as I can. They're like, oh, all right, man, I appreciate that. Then I'll put it out there, and I'll always tell them, hey, go get you something to drink or some coffee or something like that. And by the time you come back, just check on it and you can go. And he's like, oh, no, yeah, no problem, Ricardo, no problem. So I usually drag all the big stuff out, put it in the street, on the curb, and then the constable looks at it and he goes, okay, everything's good. And then we'll nitpick stuff in the house and take it for ourselves sometimes. Sometimes there's tools, like one time I saw an air conditioning unit, I kept that. I ended up selling that thing, but always there's something little thing that you could find, some tools or wrench or something like that in these. But most of the time I will tell you, renters already took everything. The renters or the people that were paying you know, to be at the home usually already took that good stuff. So it's a very rare thing that you find really goodies at these evictions. But how to deal with constables at evictions? when you're doing eviction, be friendly with the constable so he can get the heck out of there, because when he's gone, it's a free-for-all. Once the constable leaves the eviction, it's a free-for-all for you, for the junk removal, to make quick money from the landlord. And you can call the landlord and say, hey, I'm over here at the eviction, I'm almost done, you know, I put everything on the curb, I'm going to charge you $300 for this, for just taking out a few things. And usually what happens is scavengers will come and grab all that stuff, and the renters will sometimes come and grab some stuff. It's a rarity that the renters come and grab some stuff. I did have this problem in Frisco where the renters were there and they were slowing down our process. I made a video about that. It was a really shithole of a video, but it really doesn't matter, guys. How to deal with constables is get them on your side, let them know what their deal is. Their deal is they've already got paid, they just want to go home. Okay, it's their big deal. So be friendly with these guys and make them feel comfortable. Tell them that you know you've done this routine with them already. You know how to deal with junk, and you know how to deal with evictions, and you know that only the good stuff goes to the curb. In 24 hours, you'll be there later to pick it up. All right. Anyway, guys, I hope this was a great tip for y'all to how to deal with constables at an eviction. All right. And if you like these videos, don't forget I have a lot of training videos. I've been putting training videos almost every day. I do one at night, and I do one in the morning. I do one at night. I do one training every day in the morning, and then one at night, of course. So that's 2 a day that I'm putting out. And I do these training videos just so people will understand and save time, be more efficient doing junk removals and during evictions. And you know, there's a lot of good things that you can learn from these videos. I've been doing this for over 12 years, so I am a veteran, and I've had trucks and trailers and dumpsters and stuff, so believe me when I tell you, this ain't my first rodeo. Anyway, guys, if you like my videos, subscribe over there to the right side. On the left side, check out my other videos, and I will talk to y'all later. Bye bye. GoPro, stop recording.